Hey guys, talking about how you can protect yourself from, minimize, and hopefully end your gang stalking experience. Um, Gang stalkers don't want to get caught. So before I go on to that, and it goes without saying, if you're being gang stalked, you are already being exposed to neuro weapons. The fear, anxiety, paranoia that you're experiencing are being exacerbated greatly by neuro weapons. There's a huge misunderstanding out there, a very dangerous one, that gang stalking happens before neuro weapons, or that they turn to neuro weapons like it's this, you know, uh, expensive thing that they only have the resources. The total BS. Dr. Robert Duncan is been clear about that for decades. That neuroweapon system can handle every single person in the United States at the same time. It's satellite based. Uh, if you're being gang stalked, you're already being attacked with neuroweapons. So go to anti-tinnitusv2k.com and start the treatment immediately. That's why I say everybody in America could benefit from it, even if they don't know it, because those are just covert neuroweapons. Illnesses they've experienced, stress, anxiety, yada yada. You've seen the videos I've made. And the longer you're exposed, the longer it takes to undo or get rid of the symptoms. So the faster you recognize it, or better yet, admit to yourself that this is happening, the sooner you can seek treatment from Case Electronics, and you can begin to climb your way back out. Um, the sooner the better. It's all about early detection. We hear that on a lot of things, and in this it is no different and extremely important. So uh, do that first. Jump on the computer, order it up. Next, uh, when it comes to gang stalking, of course, these are typically cult-based techniques. But as with all the most successful cults, these people are educated. One of the interesting thing about cults, like the My Family cult, actually the woman just died. What was her name? Oh, it doesn't matter. She was just in the news. She died at 98. Uh, same thing with Jim Jones. Their members are smart people. They're educated people. It's bizarre that they're so easy to brainwash. Uh, but it's true. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's right there in front of you. So a lot of these people are educated. They have jobs. They do not want to get caught doing this. Trust me. And the best way to deter it and or catch them is to use cameras. Very passively. I mean, remember, don't walk up to anybody. Don't engage any of them. That's what they want. They want you to look nuts. Don't do that. Even just get fake cameras. Even if of course, you got to take money out, right? You have very little expendable income, and you got to take this money out to protect yourself from people, because the people who are supposed to be protecting you have chosen not to. Again, very difficult to accept. Cameras, fake ones. They got them at the Harbor Freight, whatever. $10. If you got a cord, run the cord. If it doesn't come with one, make it look like it's live. I think they have a battery in them, so a light blinks or something. Start with that. It's very basic. Get a dash cam on your car. That's another big one. A lot of this stuff is going to happen while you're out. You're going to arrive at your to go get your groceries, and the car is going to be backed in and running with the lights on, and there's going to be a guy sitting and just smoking and staring at you, and you're like, what the fuck is that guy doing? That weirdo over there. What the hell is he up to? And the first time it happens, you're going to be like, that was odd. And then the next week, you're going to get your groceries, and it's going to be a different weirdo doing the same thing. They always do the same thing, of course, so that you eventually pick up on it. It doesn't work if you don't notice it, right? You're meant to notice it. That's why it's called over surveillance. If you don't know that they're doing it, it can't affect you and your life. So they want to make sure that you know. Um, and that's why it'll always be a different person too. So you won't just be like, oh, maybe that guy's a security guard at the supermarket, or they want you to know. Cameras are great. They don't want to be filmed, and I'm not saying go up to people, although that may be a good option. Um, but never, what are you doing? Why are you staring at me? Always something much more passive than that, like, hey, I really like your car. Oh, I'm filming this nature, this tree, and then I just filmed you in the same, that sort of thing. You always want to look totally normal and benign, like you're not doing anything. But a dash cam is a great way to do it. Don't spend too much money. I mean, even the simplest one, don't, picture quality, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Just get one that works and lights up and has a screen on it. They're so scared of getting caught because remember, they have good jobs and pensions and families, and they do not want to have a criminal record for doing this. They're culty nut jobs, but they're not stupid. Cameras are the best way to go. But don't spend much, obviously, unless you can. Obviously, the better you can. If you go for a full surveillance system, great, because it really is just a deterrent. They're gonna honk their horn when they drive by your house. It's gonna happen 10 times a day. They're gonna park in front of your house and lay on the horn until they wake you up, and then drive away. And they're gonna stare you down and it's just what they do. Just get used to it. It happens to anybody who tries to leave. Even these some of these celebrities that try to leave these groups that they're in, they're gang stalked just the same. Everybody's gang stalking is so common. It's done by every cult. It's done by companies when people leave. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only one. Don't freak out. Just protect yourself. What else? That's really it. Documenting. You can't document it because it looks so. It doesn't look like anything. What you're doing is just trying to get their faces on camera, and that's what they don't want. Because then the question might be asked, well, what were you doing there? And why are you staring at that person? And why are you? It's that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be able to take it to the police. Don't do that because they'll just tell you you're freaking nuts. Do not do that. I mean, unless something really happens. But, even if people are stopping in front of your house and then peeling out or honking or whatever, it's always going to be like, oh, it's no big deal. That's nothing, blah, blah. It's more to deter the people from comfortably doing it. Um, going to the police, that's a very tricky thing because they don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost always going to be used against you. Um, but a couple of tips, they're never going to produce documentation. You're not going to get a report. Even if somebody admits to doing something flat out, they're never going to produce a report. So just don't, lie to yourself. Because they're not going to produce reports, you may have no choice but to document your interaction with the police. Friendly as possible. I know they can get a little sorry, get a little tight about it. Understandably so. Who likes being filmed, right? That's why you film gang stalkers. Well, same thing. If you have to call the police, call them, have them come to your residence, and then film it. If you go into the police station, you're not allowed to film anything. You're not going to get a report or any paperwork. They're never going to document it. So you kind of have to understand that. And it's sad because I know they don't like it, but if they want to, maybe you're lucky, maybe we'll get a report, but probably not. So if you do feel like you want to go to the police with something, very common, sort of things that you can sort of verify. Pets are very commonly poisoned. They are going to, I hate to break it to you, but if you're being gang stalked, they're going to poison your pet sooner or later. It's what they do. These people are cold beyond words. They are brainwashed. They believe, God wants them to do this. They are being controlled by someone who is controlling them, obviously. It goes without saying. Um, they believe that this needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, why would anybody just look at a cult? Look at what they do. Look at Jim Jones can murder 300 kids. Why do they do it? Because they believe that God wanted them to, or some weird shit like that. Or worse yet, the guy that runs, that's always the guy at the top, might have been somebody that they served with, somebody that they worked under, someone that they work for, has convinced them that this needs to be done. So killing your pets, nothing to them. If that happens, call the police to your property. Don't go to them. Call them to your property and videotape the interaction with them. Because they will almost certainly not produce a report for you. Preventing you from having any documentation is a big part of it. I don't know if that's deliberate or just because they don't want to deal with it. If you look into stalking statistics, it's basically just the least dealt with of criminal activity. They don't want to deal with it. I think the big study was done on that. It's an unfortunate reality. So these are some of the ways you can protect yourself a little bit and do your best to document things if you have to. Always, always. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.